You know, Best Buy is touted as, you know, I guess, I don't know, the electronics store. um, their bathrooms are lacking in that department. They don't even have the little where you put your hands underneath the sink and then it automatically turns on. It has the little plunger thing. So you push it down and then you get like 2 seconds of water. Of all places, you figure Best Buy would be like, oh, you know, as you walk in and the lights turn on and you get greeted by a computer that talks to you. But no, you got a manually analog plunger thing. You can't even keep the water on. Kind of ironic. I got something that I want to talk about. And it goes to this whole bike maintenance thing. You know, if you've got dirty fuel injectors, you know, they say put all these, you can put an additive into your fuel tank, and it'll help. Yeah, it does. I highly recommend Seafoam. If you've got some dirty injectors, or if you know, especially this winter, a lot of guys aren't going to be riding. Excuse me. And they're going to put their bikes up, and when they get them back out, you know, they're going to have a hard time starting. But I mean, if you put Seafoam in there, it'll clean it right out, and your bike will start like it's brand new. But here's a little, I guess, vignette or a story about my Seafoam experience. I bought this bike used, you know, as you know, it's a 2007, and it had some pretty bad hesitation. pretty bad, and sometimes I had a hard time starting. But what I had done was I got on the internet, and everything on the internet's true. What I bought, and I read an article about Seafoam, you know, and if you read the instructions after you go out and buy it, it says use so many ounces per gallon, you know. But this article said, you know, the guy took half the can of Seafoam and he put it into his tank and rode around and didn't make a difference. And the next time when he filled up, you know, because he was kind of skeptical about it working. So after he did that, you know, he's like, well, fuck, I still got a half a can left of Seafoam. So he dumps it in there, fills it back up, and then doesn't ride for like 4 days. But while it sat there, the Seafoam ate through the varnish and all the old gasoline that was clogging up either his carburetor or his fuel injector. And the next time he went out to start it, it started right up, man. It was like, he said it was like it was brand new, and it ran like it was brand new. So, kind of the same situation with here. I bought a can, dumped half of that bad boy into the tank, went riding around, saw a little bit of a difference, not a whole lot, and then I dumped the rest of the can in there, and I had to take a trip somewhere, so I went out of town as well. So I let it sit there, and when I came back, it had cleaned out my fuel injectors. I mean, my carburetor on my bike. This thing runs like a dream now. Not gonna say that it's gonna work for everyone, but it works pretty damn good, I gotta admit. And now it's kind of a maintenance thing. I put a little bit of Seafoam in my tank because I live right across the street from the gas station. So I put a little bit in my tank and then go fill up my bike and then ride off. I don't worry about whether or not I'm at like a Chevron or a Shell station or something like that. I just put it in there, and it keeps it running good. It's got a little bit more pep. But that's when I noticed the gas is leaking, because I think that old gas that was in this thing was holding everything together, and then when I put that Seafoam in there, it loosened everything up. And that's when I had that whole gas tank debacle thing. Oh shit, I gotta get over. Yeah, so if you get a chance, you know, and your bike is running kind of shitty, buy that can of Seafoam, put half that bad boy in there, and then run that tank, you know, and then put the rest of it in there, and your bike will probably turn around if it's not anything really truly mechanically wrong with it. I'm telling you, the internet is a great tool for all of us guys that do, you know, operator level maintenance to our bikes, because, you know, like I've said before, when I have to take this bike apart, and to get to the air filter and the carburetor and all that shit, you have to take the tank off. And it was, and I had to resort to the internet to figure out how to do it, because, you know, being a new rider and not very mechanically inclined, I needed help. I was trying to figure out how to take the tank off, you know, and of course you go to the internet to figure this stuff out. And what I had read was there was this guy. He was like, "Oh, I've been looking online for a video on how to take the tank off." And it was a forum, so the guy goes and, you know, I read a couple lines down, and it says, "Undo these screws, take off this hose from your carburetor, and, you know, take your tank off." And the guy's like, "Oh, I'm scared. You know, this is my first time ever having to do this, and I don't want to mess anything up." And the guy was, and the guy says, "Grab your balls, grab a screwdriver, and grab a wrench, and take that tank off." Oh my God, that was great. Best article ever. And I did that. I grabbed my balls, grabbed a screwdriver, and grabbed a wrench and took my tank off. So, yeah. Well, that's my rant for the day. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm going to run in here and see what they got.